Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a hooking kick and a crescent kick. The hooking kick, Golcho Chagi in Korean, is a blocking technique. It moves in an outward direction to deflect an attack, for example a punch. And in this case, the target is the attacker's elbow joint. The kick can be done from virtually any stance. Even standing normally in parallel stance, you can perform the kick. It will move in an arc, it will knock the limb across and slightly down, similar to a palm hooking block. In order to do this, you need to tilt the foot. If you're using the side instep, which is this part, but you tilt the foot so you can hook over the limb and bring it slightly down and across. Now, when you're doing it from a walking stance, for example, you can use your rear leg or your front leg. When you're using your rear leg, you're going forwards towards the opponent. When you're using your front leg, you're retreating, moving away from your opponent. So this is the more likely scenario, like that. Here's a little tip. When you raise your leg, keep the knee fairly close to your chest. It's much easier to lift. When you lift your leg with the knee far away, it feels heavier. So bringing it up closer to you, you can bring it out, forward and down. You have much more control. So practice this technique from walking stance, going forwards using your rear leg, going backwards using your front leg. The crescent kick, Bandal Chagi in Korean, is also a blocking technique like hooking kick, but it moves in an inward direction. You're using the side sole, which is the side part of your sole here, and it moves across to block the attacking limb. The foot is more vertical than with hooking kick because you're not bringing it down so much. More to knock the limb across. But as you follow through, the leg will drop, so the foot will tilt towards the end, but on impact, it's more or less vertical. With hooking kick, I told you to keep your knee close. Not so much with crescent kick, because you need to swing quite wide before you bring it across. And avoid bringing your hip forward too much, because this will throw you off balance. You bring it hip forward, you will just fall forward like that. So what you do, you pull the leg in. It's almost like you're bending the knee a bit more towards the end to get control. Like that. Bring it wide and across like that. With hooking kick and crescent kick, it's useful to do a counter-attack with the same leg that you're using to block, because the leg's already up. So having done a crescent kick, you can do a side kick, for example. The leg's already there, ready to go. So practice the technique from walking stance, using rear leg going forward, using your front leg going backwards. Hooking kick and crescent kick can only be done as low or middle kicks. It's not practical against high attacks. And when you're blocking the attacking limb, do an outside block, which means you're blocking the outside of the limb to knock their limb inwards. If you block on the inside, bringing it out, it's easy for them to counterattack with the opposite side. Bringing them this way, it's much harder for them to counterattack. Just a word about terminology. I often hear instructors get the terminology wrong for these two techniques. For example, hooking kick, they name another technique which is a reverse hooking kick, which is an attacking technique I've yet to show you. They call that hooking kick. Now, when you say hooking kick, Golcho Chagi, that is the blocking version which I showed you today. And I often hear instructors call the crescent kick an inward or outward crescent kick. There's no such thing as an outward crescent kick. That's the hooking kick that I showed you. So crescent kicks are always inward, so you don't have to say inward crescent kick. Okay? It's just crescent kick. Okay? So that's it for today. Next time I'll show you two other techniques, inward and outward vertical kick, which look very similar to the kicks I showed you today. So please join me for that, and I'll see you next time. Bye.